what advice would you give to your 20-year-old self? What age are you now, actually?
24.
Okay, nice. So what would you give your advice to 5 years ago, yourself 5 years ago?
5 years ago to myself. It's always a tough question for me because there's very little I want to change because of how much wisdom you gain by doing bad things or messing up and learning from it.
For sure.
So I really wouldn't be the same if I hadn't done the stuff. I would just say, and I would go back to myself and say, look, it's all going to be all right in the end. Stick to your heart, follow your heart and what you want to do. You know what's good. I know what's right and wrong. And I've realised that as I get older. I know when I'm doing something right and I know when I'm doing something wrong. So I'd just say to myself, listen to yourself. When you know you're doing something wrong, stop it and start doing the right things.
Nice.
But I wouldn't want to change too much about my past because it's what gives you your stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm not sure if you have looked into the butterfly effect. There's a movie with Ashton Kutcher.
I've never
You've never heard about the butterfly effect? Okay, so basically it's like a butterfly, something as small as a butterfly flapping its wings on the other side of the world could trigger off a series of events that has a ripple effect and it affects so many different things. And so if you did something slightly different, like really the smallest thing different, your life could go off on a completely different trajectory. So when people are like, I would change this, I would look back on this. No, you got to think of the butterfly effect. If you did anything even slightly different, you wouldn't be where you are today.
Exactly.
So that's one that I often...
I might be an estate agent.
Yeah, exactly. Hate not estate agent. Yeah. I just think it's a cool job. I got mad into property in the last year. I got really interested in it. So that's hilarious.
If you're a good one, if you were selling the good houses.
Yeah.
I was in Bournemouth. I was like...
not much going on. Nah. Young Marbella, they're living the dream.
Yeah.
They're honestly just like partying every night, selling villas and meeting cool people. Property's big game here. Dope. But so... I'd say my advice if I was to talk to my 20-year-old self, same as that, you don't want to not have any regrets or mistakes. But I would say to not be afraid of taking the road less traveled. So I remember when I was in college, I failed college, I dropped out, but for the brief period I was in, I thought this was the only way. I thought I was like, this is what we got to do. We got to finish school, we go to college, we get put in a job that we don't want to do, and then that's it. You have the wife that you hate, some shithead kids, and that's it. Maybe you go on holiday, you get 10 days off a year, and then that's it. And at the time, I was like, I want to do something to do with fitness. How do I do something where I can impact as many people around the world as possible and also do it on my own time as well? And YouTube fitness was like only in America. And so when I started doing it in Ireland, everyone was like, what? Who the fuck does this guy think he is? Doing bicep curls on the internet. Fucking Billy Big Biceps over here. And so that's what my advice would be to my young self is trust the process, which I did. And, don't be afraid to take the non-conventional route. You don't have to do the thing that you've been brainwashed into doing. Yeah. So that's the advice I'd give. And how would you say your mindset has changed over the last couple of years?
But my mindset in the last year has been exploded. My mind's been exploded because I've really seen what is possible for somebody to do if they follow that path less traveled. Because I remember working in sales jobs and trying my absolute best, like really trying hard and getting dialed in and selling stuff and making like maximum 4 or 5 grand in a month.
Yeah.
and thinking like, I'm fucking working as hard as I can. Like, there's nothing more I could be doing to make more money. And I just thought like, it must take so long to get rich or make a decent amount of money. And then when you do something for yourself, when you take that risk, it just comes with all of that reward. And you don't realize how easy and something can be when you're on the right path, taking that risk, which is a crazy thing for me to see after thinking, sales is the only way for me in this certain job. Certain sales jobs, you can make a lot of money, but you've got to find the right vehicle.
Yep.
So I'd say to somebody that's kind of stuck around that 3-4 grand mark, you need to find a better vehicle or do your own thing because that's where the real money, the real life is at.